go further, I want us to assign. You remember I said we'll do an assignment of company code to company. So before you do anything, you have to assign the company code to a company. That's the standard. You have to tie them. You have to tie the company code to a company. So before we do any other thing, I want to do the assignment first. So I will show you some other things. So if you want to do assignment, you still come under this enterprise structure. You come this under enterprise structure. You come to assignment. Then you come to assign company code to company. Assign company code to company. That's what you do. If you click on it, it will redirect you to the page where you assign a company code to company. So here we are here. So we have company code which we have defined already, and this company. So what we do is to click on position, and it will ask us what do we want to look for. We say AD00. That's our company code, right? So we assign a company here. Our company is AD01. You can also find, you can also search here. You can search, you can go inside and look for it. You can use this control F or this search bar to say I'm looking for Adams. Remember I put a search bar Adams the other time when we were creating it. So I'll click on it and I'll double click and it will be assigned. And if you remember it, you just put it straight. So I'll save it. So I've saved it. I've saved it. So um this is what I want to show you. So we've been able to assign a company code to a company. But before we go further, I want to open another screen. I'm using Control N. I'm using Control N to open another screen. Right? So I've opened another screen. And if you want to also do that from your end there, you can come to System, come to New GUI window, Control N. I'm using Control N, a short key, to open a new window. The other window is still open, you see. So now, what's the essence of structuring the system? What's the essence of configuring the system? The essence of configuring the system is because we want to practicalize all the necessary physical transactions that will be going on in finance in a business. Let me not call it finance, in a business, right? What are the transactions that are happening in a business? First of all, you get capital from your investors. So you have to post an entry. You have to post an entry into the system. So you have to credit your equity, whether wherever you have to credit your equity and debit your bank, right? Because you are getting money from them. So you debit your bank and you credit your equity. Yeah. These are some of the transactions that happens, right? The first transaction that happens in every business. Yeah. So by the time you start making some expenditure or buying some capex or capital expenditure, making a capital expenditure transaction, so you pay, right? Let's assume you are buying chairs or you are buying milk and tea, you are buying brooms, you are buying toiletries, right? You are buying some of these things. You are buying them, you have to make payments. So you have to credit your bank and debit your expense account, right? That's what you need to do. If it's an expense related transaction, you have to credit your bank and debit what they call it, expense. If it's an asset related, you have to uh, uh, credit your bank, debit the acquisition, like maybe the what they call it, maybe the vendor. Or there are different type of transactions that occurred in a business, right? And so the essence of configuring the system is to ensure that all these transactions are allowed or are easy or can be completed in the system in S4HANA. So one of them, I'll show you practical example of one of them, which is, let's assume we want to post a journal to journal. A journal to journal is that you are posting from one GL to another GL, right? You are posting from one GL to another GL. That's what it means, right? So I want to demonstrate that, right? So to post a journal to journal, you can come to accounting, come to financial accounting, come to general ledger, right? Come to general ledger, come to document entry, then enter GL account documents. So before we do that, let me also come to system because we are supposed to see the transaction code. We're supposed to see the transaction code. So I want to enable that transaction code. So hold on. Where is this setting? Hold on. Service. So done. Yeah. Display documentation. at details, settings. I'll come to settings, extras. If you want to display, what do you call it? If you want to display T codes, because in GUI we use a lot of T codes, but you can always go through to the transaction or to what you want to do through paths. You can always come to this part to know what you want to do. But we often use T code here as consultants here, but you can use paths as well. So you come to extras, you come to setting, right? You come to setting, then you come to display technical display do not display, you come to display technical names, right? You come to display technical names, and when you click on that, you see all the T codes. So upon clicking saved, it will close back, and so you can always come here, come to financial accounting, because that's what we are currently doing. Come to general ledger, come to general ledger, then come to document entry. Then you can see these are the T codes. These are the T code we often pressed or insert into the search bar. So if you double click this, it will redirect you to the GL to GL transaction environment. So what I want you to be attentive to this thing I'm saying. You want to post a journal to journal. The first thing that comes up to our screen is the company code. Then you need to insert a company code, right? Then you need to insert a company code. That's the essence. Before a transaction or before you can complete or you can do anything into the system, you must have configured the system. But I want to show you some certain things before we begin to just go and configure. Because when we configure the system and we come to transaction and we begin to post transaction, you wouldn't know how these entries or these data are flowing together. How are they relating to each other? So that's what I want to show you here, right? That's what I want to show you. So the first thing is asking us is to put a company code. Imagine we have not created a company code. And imagine we have not created a company. So what are the prerequisites here now? The prerequisites to do a journal to journal is that you must have created a company code. One. And before you create a company code, you must have also create a company, because the first thing as per the structure of SAP is that you need to create a company first and create a company code and assign the company code to what? To the company. If you don't do this you won't be able to go ahead with it. Imagine I'll just demonstrate something. I did not create a company code at TB01. I'll put TB01. You see the error that it will flag you. It should flag you an error, or sometimes to allow you to go through. By the time good. You can see it's flagging us an error. It's saying entry TB01 does not exist in T001. It's saying I cannot recognize this company code in the system. I cannot find this company code because I've not created one. And so you cannot find it. You can't do anything. So you must have create a company code, create a company, create a company code, and assign it. If not, you face an error. So now I'll change it to what? AD00, because I've created AD00. The moment I'm even creating it, it will give me a pop-up. It should give me a pop-up. If network is good, it will give me a pop-up that I've created it. The moment I click enter, it will take me to the screen where I'll perform my GL to GL document transaction. You can see this the GL to GL transaction environment. This is the GL to GL transaction environment. So now I will show you some certain thing. Look at, it's asking me for dates, it's asking me for currency, it's asking me for GL. Look at this is a GL environment, this is a GL environment, this text, this reference, this. The most important things here now that we are currently seeing are three. One, you need a company code, which we have done already. So you need a date. You need a date. You must have told the system your type of date or the type of date calendar you are using. And as well, you need a GL, right? Before you can proceed. But only this screen alone, before you can perform you can perform this kind of transaction effectively, or effectively, there are a lot of configuration that would have been, not a lot of them actually, but there are a lot of things, configuration that needs to be done in the system before you can perform this transaction. Perform this transaction. So why I came to this transaction, to this portal, is because I want to tell you, I want to show you how these things are relating and the errors that it will be coming up. Because what I've come to realize is that an instructor will configure the system. And you come to transaction posting and you post transaction and you will not see any error. But by the time you go to your end or you find a job and systems and users are coming with errors, you'll be able to know where exactly are we fixing this error from, or where is this error coming from, or what are the things I need to do to fix this error. So that's what I want to make. That's why I call it practical scenario, practical training. We will see what is the error. Then we'll go back to the system to configure it or to do what we need to do earlier, right? So the first thing is to tell you dates and it will flag you an error. So let's assume I'm posting it, I'm doing it on 10th of 10th, or let me say 19th of 10th, 2024. It will flag me an error. It should flag me an error. Yeah. So you can see for the fiscal year variant, no period is defined. Can you see that? Let me expand the error. It's saying for the fiscal year variant, no period is defined. You can see it's telling you that you have not defined, you have not told the system the fiscal year that you want to be using, or the period or the posting period that you want to be using. That's what this error is telling us. The error is pointing us to fiscal year variant and no posting and no period. So that will now take us back to the system. Where do we define the fiscal year? So what is fiscal year? The question will now be, what is fiscal year? So fiscal year is simply the calendar year that a business run on. So let's assume in Nigeria, we use January to December. In Nigeria, we use January to December. So in some other places, they use April to June or something like that. But in Nigeria, we use January to December, right? So you need to also instruct the system that the fiscal year period I want to be using as per for my business is January to December. That's what you need to tell the system. And after that, you also need to tell the system the period. You also need to open posting period, but we have not even gotten to that. But let's go and uh, do this fiscal year. So I'll open another screen again. I'm using Control N to open another screen. So I'll just go to SPRO, SPRO, SCP reference IMG. Then I'll come to financial accounting global financial accounting first. Then I'll come to financial accounting global setting. Then I'll come to ledger. Then I'll come to fiscal year and posting period. You can see fiscal year and posting period. Then I'll maintain a fiscal year first. I'll first of all maintain a fiscal year. Then I'll assign it to a company code. You can see everything you are doing, you assign it to company code. First of all, let me maintain a fiscal year variant. So the variant is just like a key in the system, right? So I'm in this environment where it's asking me for fiscal year variant. What fiscal year variant do I want, right? So in the system, there are pre-configured fiscal year period calendar that is already in the system. Some people use April to March, some people use April to March for special period. Different ones are already in the system. So I'll just look for K4. K4 it's a default calendar year for January to December. You can see we have 12 number of periods. You can see 12 number of period, and we have 4 special period. 4 special period are like, for example, you want to do some adjustment entry. So your main fiscal year is January to December. So you just open a window of 4 other months so that people can just do the adjustment in that month. That's what this thing means. So you can always click on this place. And so, but I'll click on what I'll do. I won't do anything here. I won't do anything here, but I'll create a variant, a fiscal year variant. But I won't really do anything on this place. We'll not do anything with this. We'll not do anything. We just use the predefined what's it called setup. We have a lot of them here, so it will be necessary that we'll create anyone. So we are using K4. Like I said, we are using K4. K4 is a default calendar year for 12, so we just use that. So we'll go back and assign it to a company code. We'll go back and assign it to the company code. So we'll come to assignment and we'll come to assign company code to fiscal year variant. So search for our company code. We'll search for our company code. Our company code is AD00. Go inside and we'll just put K4. K4. That's the fiscal year variant we just seen. So I'll put it and I'll save. So I'm saving it. So this has been saved. So I'll open another screen and try to demonstrate that same transaction LB50 again. LB50, that GL to GL transaction with our company code AD000. So now if I put the date, the error that will come up will change. You can see the error that came up has changed. Before now, the error was fiscal year variant. But now look at the error that this is coming up with now. This error is in company code AD0, the number range 01 is missing for the year 2024. So what does this mean? So for every transaction, for every environment, or every transaction that you want to perform, there's something called document type. There's something called document type, and there's something called number ranges. So for this environment, for this type of transaction, the document type is SA. The document type is SA. So we'll go to the system to check what is it. The document type for journal to journal is SA. And inside the document type, a number range 01 has been mapped to it. So you need to go and create a number range. So go back. Let's go back. And I'll just show you um, the document type. So how do we get to the document type, right? So we'll close this. We'll close this. We'll come to document. Then you see document type. So I'll just show you the document type. The document type are default are different type of the default document type that SAP has defined in the system. We do not really need to create any new document type again. We just leave it as the only time we need to create a document type is when we have a unique type of transactions that we want to create. So we'll come to this place to create a new document type, but we have a predefined document type that have been defined by SAP on the system. So like I said, SA is for journal entry. I'll click on position to look for that SA. So you can see we have SA GL account document. So this is the document type for performing a transaction FB50, a code transaction code FB50. SA is used to perform such transaction. If I click inside now, I'm double clicking it to see. You can see E01. E01 is the number range that have been assigned to document type SA. SA. So to reverse, when you reverse this kind of transaction, AB is the document type that comes up, and it's applicable for assets, it's applicable for vendor, it's applicable for this. That's what this thing means. Application where such transaction is allowed. So whenever you want to perform an assets related transaction, this check, if you don't check it, it won't allow you. And that's why when you check it, it allows you to post such kind of transaction for vendor, for material, for general ledger, accounting type. That's what all this thing means. The default value exchange rate that the document type uses is M. M is average exchange rate type. So these are basic configuration, default configuration that comes in with this document type. So now, how do we now set up? Because the error says in company code AD, the number range 01 is missing. Is missing. So you need to define it. So how do we define it? You look 01 is the number range, right? So we'll go back. Let's go and look for the number range now. We'll go back. I'm just showing you what's all the links. I'm showing the links. It's telling you the error says the number range is missing. So how do you know where the number range? I didn't do anything number range. Why is it flagging me number range 01? I didn't do anything number range 01. Why is the system flagging me 01? So I just went to show you, I just showed you now that the 01 is coming from the mapping that was done to the document type. So inside every document type, a number range has been mapped to them by default. So you have to go and look at it, and that's why I just show you, I just demonstrate to you now. So we'll now go back now and create a number range 01. So you click on document number range, look at the part. The part is financial accounting global setting, document, then doc, the document number ranges is document number ranges, then define document number ranges. So you come here, you click inside, then you put your company code because it's company code specific. As you can see, it's saying in company code AD00. So it's company code specific. Do you get? So you have to put your company code AD00 and click on interval. You click on this interval and it will bring you down to this place. This is locked by someone. This screen is locked by someone, and so I will have to go and take this person off. Let me just slash OSM12. Let me take this user. So let me again. I want to pick that user so I can just delete that user. 1 minute, just hold on. There's somebody inside it, so I pick the user. I'll come to this place. I'll click enter. I'll search. So the user is using that screen. So I'll take that user off. Just hold on. This is not part of the what's got the training. I think this is just a technical way of removing any user who is blocking another screen. This screen, this environment we are using is a multiple users environment. So I'll just look for which one and which one is doing. So I'll just take the person off. I'll select the two. I'll select the two. The one that is actually using. I've seen it, but I'll just select the two and I'll delete the user from this. I'll just delete. So the user will be yanked off of the place. Delete. So I've taken off the user. I'll just go back to this place. No. I'll go outside and I'll quickly just maintain my thing. So you click on plus. It's already on plus anyway. So you put 01. Then year, I'll put 2024. I'll put 1019. I'll do this and I'll save it. So I'm just using these are sequence, these are number sequence. Zero number range 01, which I've maintained 01 year. As you can see, I've maintained 01 year. And for which year? I see 2024. The number range sequence is this. So at every point in time you are posting an entry, it will be generating this number range, right? And it's internal. I will not click on external. External means that you want to be putting the number range that every transaction creates to to be uh to be generating, right? But the sequence, it will be internally generating sequence for you at every transactions. So I'll just save it. I'm saving it. The system is a bit slow to change the router for the network. Uh, so I'm saving this. I'll click go inside. I'll save it. So it has been saved. So I'll just go back. I'll go outside of the screen. I'll go outside of the screen. So I've done this now. So by the time you go back to that transaction, it will not be flagging you this error again. If I click enter now, this error will disappear. You can see the error has gone. Another error that is coming up again is no amount tolerance range entered for company code. It's a warning actually. It's a warning. This error is actually a warning, but it's something we should also fix. We should fix it. It's a warning, but we should fix it. It's telling us as amount tolerance range entered for company code. No amount tolerance range entered for company code ADZ. So it's saying there's something called amount tolerance for users or for employee. Yeah, you can call it user or you can call it employee. So employee, for example, you have a clerk, you have an accounting clerk, you have an accounting payable officer, you have different type of officer in the system as per their JD or job description. So you have said this a clerk should not be able to post a transaction worth 1 million naira, right? That's what you're saying. You say you do not want a person or an employee to be able to post more than so line item. So you restrict such users, right? And that's what this screen does. This is where you create a group, you create a tolerance group. When you create a tolerance group, then you now begin to assign the group that you have created on each employee. That's what happens here. You create a tolerance group, then you put some amount, some restriction amount, then you begin to peg it or assign the tolerance group to every employee. That's what happened here. So you can also from this place go directly to the part, to the configuration part, and you can as well go outside of it, and you can also click on this place to go to the place, or you can also go back and click and find the tolerance group. So I'll just show you how to. Let me show you this one first. I'll click and it's show sometimes some errors redirect you. Sometimes most errors will not redirect you. Sometimes most error will not redirect you. You have to go through the part. You must understand where you need this configuration. So what it's telling us is tolerance no amount tolerance group. So we need to go to the system and do that. So as you can see, the system has redirected us to this place, and the part is financial accounting global setting, document. then line item, then define tolerance group for employee. That's where the part has taken us to. But I will go back and I'll come back to it so that I'll show you the parts properly. So let me come to this place. Now we are also in these documents. We are in document already. So I'll close this document type. As you can see, we're under financial accounting global setting. Documents, document number read. I'll close this as well. Then I'll just come to hold on. Tolerance group. I'll come to tolerance group. Define tolerance group for employee. So I'll come to this place to define tolerance group for employee. So this assign users tolerance group. This is where you assign tolerance group for each users. But on this one, this is where you just come is define tolerance group. You have to define the tolerance group for employees first before you assign. So I'll go to this and define one. I'll define one, then I'll probably assign to a user as well. So you can always copy anyone. You can always pick anyone and copy from, right? You can copy from the standard one in the system. Now let's check if we have this. Uh, we do not. So we can, like I said, you can click on new entry and you can always copy anyone. You can always copy anyone. So what I would do is just I will avoid using tolerance group. I'll just create. Let me just copy anyone here. Now change the parameters. So I'll just change this one. The company code I'm using is AD00, right? AD00. So I'll leave this amount. I'll leave this amount. So cash discount is telling me I will remove this cash discount because I'm not really interested in that. But let me leave it this way. I'll click enter. Let me leave it this way. I'll click enter. So if I double click it to see the parameters that have happened, just pick my currency, which is NGN. I'm saying amount per document. I'm saying amount per document. The amount per document should be 9999999. This should be the higher amount. Or let me just put 1 million. 03 123. Right? I'm putting this amount. I'm saying amount per open item, account item. I could also say 1 million. I could say 1 million. I could say 10,000. Let me just say 10,000. 10, 1, 2, 3. 100,000. I could say 100,000. 2, 2, 3. So you can do this. You are saying amount for each document. This is the highest amount you should be able to post. That's what this thing means. This is the highest amount an individual or an employee should be able to post. But mind you, I didn't create a group because if I had created a group, then I will assign this group to every user. So I don't want to do much of that. So I'll just do this on a high level so anybody can post. That's what I'm just doing here. So I'll just save this. I'll save this. And I'll go back to the save screen where we are trying to post some entry. So I'll close this. And I'll pretend this error has not come up. I'll pretend this error has not come up. I'll start it again. Slash NFB50. So I'll just put the parameter again and see the error that comes up again. So what I'm trying to do here is to show you where all the errors are coming from, to link all it so that by the time you face a system, you know where all these errors are coming from, right? To show you what needs to be done, at what point is the error coming up, and what needs to be done. So all this configuration we have just done now, we have done fiscal year, like for date, we have done fiscal year for date, we have done for fiscal year, we have done for number range. Number range, another error that came up with was number range. We have also fixed that, right? What other issue? Tolerance group. You can see all this error are not coming up any longer. Tolerance group. We have also fixed the issue of tolerance group, a warning. Tolerance group was actually a warning. We have also fixed it. As you can see, did you see any error coming up? So before you get to this level, these are configuration that must have been done in the system. There are prerequisites configuration that needs to be done in the system before you get to this place. Before before the system will allow you to use this date that you want to use, right? That's what other errors. There are still other errors anyway that will still come up because there are some other configuration that needs to be done. So what have we done? So let me go back to our Excel sheets. What have we done? So we have defined company. I'll just check that. I'll come to the check here. We have done this. We have also done this. right? We have done this one. We have not defined a business area. We have not defined functional area. We have not. So we have assigned company code. We have done this, and we have not done this one. So under financial accounting global setting, because you see the part where we did all those things are under financial accounting global setting. Let's go back so that you see all that. Mm. So what are the things we've done? We've done for fiscal year variance. We use the default fiscal year variance in the system, but we assume we have created one. Uh, we said define fiscal year or maintain fiscal year. Let's say maintain fiscal year variance, fiscal year, and we have assigned fiscal year to company code. What other things have we done? We have also done fiscal year. I think we've also done uh, tolerance group, if I'm correct. We've done tolerance group mapping, for employee slash user. This is not correct. So we do not assign it to specific user. Rather, we just create a global mapping, a global tolerance for every user. That's what we have just done. But if your business wants a specific, you can use uh, you can create a tolerance group and begin to map it to every employee. But that's a little bit tedious. So there are other ways of controlling users for posting some certain transactions. You can use the GRC, which is the security guys, by not giving them authorization. You can use that. They have various ways, but I'm just showing you from FI point of view. These are ways to restrict a user to be able to post an entry or transaction that is more than its level or by its JD. I think these are the things we've done. I think we did three things. Number range as well. Yeah, we did number range, created created number range, number ranges, number ranges, number. Let me just leave the created number ranges, and we for document type, for transaction, for document type, SA, for document type, SA. And these are things we've done, right? We've maintained fiscal year. We didn't actually, but we used the one in the system and created number range, and we have done this as well. So we have done these things. These are the few things we have done. So before we go again, before we go further, this GL, we have not created any GL in the system. We'll still come back to this place. I think from the other point of view, we have been able to complete uh, the necessary things that is required under it. So we'll leave it now. We'll come back to this. So let's go back to our configuration. So let me end this video on this particular place, and we'll continue with the rest. Thank you very much.